Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. I just popped on here right quick. My students had a art show starting yesterday and finishing up today around it's 4 or 5 today. To my surprise, when I got there at noon, two of my students had already left, and one of the students was still there. So I thought about it. At first I was just like, we have drilled and went over this and went over this. But I realized, that I was dealing with developmental disabilities, disorders. And I realized sometimes that, just drilling and going over things can be a little bit too much for them. So then it has a lot to do with support and non-support. So the two that left, I realized that it may have been too much for them. Then they don't have the support like my other student has. So I was excited because he was the one I thought would not show up or maybe leave early. But to my surprise, he hung on in there. And so I called the other two to see what was going on. And, like I said, they thought that they would just show up for 30 minutes and leave. And so we are still going to work on communication skills. There's still a little time before the 14th, before they all graduate. But I was so excited, and I'm still excited because they put in hard work. I mean, hard work. And they hung in there. They hung in there. I was really surprised that they hung in there until the end. But I wanted to also come on and just encourage some people today. I love to encourage somebody. And yes, I am wearing my shirt today. I wasn't able to wear it yesterday. So I want to encourage somebody, no matter how it looks and no matter what you're facing on today, just be encouraged. The enemy always tries to set up traps for the believers and for those who try to get on the right track and live a righteous life, for those who believe in, treating everybody right, but they always get, you know, stepped on. And so I was having a conversation this morning about, some people who really, really tried to keep their marriage together, and they was going through a lot of things. But when you hit a platform, somebody listen, when you hit a platform and you put your business out there on social media, there's always someone that's lurking around to pray you down, to seek that you will fail in your marriage or fail in your business. So we have to be careful and prayerful and watchful. The Bible always tell us be prayerful and watchful at all times, because the enemy hears us. He studies us, and he knows, our next move, especially if we put it out there in the atmosphere. So be careful about the words that come out of your mouth, and always be prayerful and watchful at all times. You know, so I had this conversation this morning, and I said, you know what? I said, when that young man put the things out in the atmosphere, the devil didn't want to hear him prosper. The devil didn't want to see him give God the glory. The devil didn't want to make his marriage work. I said, because you know one thing, the devil have already, Satan and Lucifer have already been up there, and he know what it's all about. He know how beautiful and peaceful it is. So when he got kicked out of heaven trying to control everything, his job is, he don't want nobody else to go. So his job is keeping us down, you know, sowing discords and destroying marriages. So I said, once that young man put that out in the atmosphere, the devil got busy. Not only the devil got busy, but his imps and dimps got busy, because we always have someone in the human flesh that will get busy as well. You know, he'll find somebody that's available and want to be used by the devil. So, to make a long story short, be careful. Be careful of the words that come out of your mouth, and be prayerful and watchful at all times. And, you know, don't trust no man. The Bible say don't trust no man. You know, we can't put our trust in man, because man will fail us every time. And you got to have a discernment spirit on who to share your information to. Who to share, because you know people are masking, putting on these masks and pretending that they love you, pretending that they care for you, pretending that they in your corner, and all the time they just like backstabbers. It was a song now back in the days, backstabbers. All the time they want to take your place. So be aware of backstabbers. Be aware of a lot of things, and pray before you put anything out in the atmosphere, because the enemy is here to steal, kill, and destroy. That's his whole motive, is to steal, kill, and destroy. And once he destroys things, then you know he's satisfied. That's how he gets his glory. So just be careful about the things that you put out in the atmosphere. So I just want to pop on here these 7 or 8 minutes just to encourage someone, and just continue to keep following, continue to give me a thumbs up, and continue to watch. As I grow, you grow. So I am on my 2nd day juice fast. And pray for me, because this is not my first rodeo on the juice fast. But, you know, anytime that you're going on a spiritual fast, mental fast, physical fast, the reason why I went on one yesterday after the art show, I was so exhausted, and I say, you know what, it's time for me to do a juice fast. It's time for me to cleanse again, spiritually, mentally, and physically. So I said 6 o'clock, I went on a juice fast yesterday. So I'm still on the juice fast today. I'll be coming off tomorrow at 6 p.m. So y'all continue to pray for me and lift me up. And yeah, I don't put it out there, but he is defeated. The devil is defeated. You hear me? So y'all have a great day. I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.